I've been with the band now for 28 years, and for 4 of those years I've had serious gripes with the management, and you know, I had to say I couldn't work with this management team anymore, and I've gone off on my own.
Hello everybody, you're welcome back again to the Reggae Appreciation Society. Out of the chaotic and bleak backdrop of Britain in the 1970s, many reggae bands would spring up, led by radical youngsters who were bristling with revolutionary zeal, who had all been inspired by their Jamaican heroes to use music as a weapon. In 1979, one of these bands, coming straight out of Birmingham, named UB40, burst on the scene with a sizzling, critical, and commercially acclaimed debut album. In a few years, they became one of the biggest reggae bands on the globe and will go on to become one of the world's most successful reggae groups, with album sales of over 70 million records and all-time classics like Red Red Wine, King, and Kingston Town. They were one of the most beloved bands and were composed of siblings and ex-schoolmates, and on the surface seemed to be one of the closely knit units in an industry which is full of treachery and politics. But in 2008, the mask would come off as founder and lead singer Ali Campbell left the group in very angry circumstances and was followed out later by vocalist Terence Astro Wilson and keyboardist Mickey Virtue, and they would form their own faction of UB40, while the other lineup, led by Ali's brother Robin Campbell, also continued as another half of that group. At first, it wasn't really clear why the band had split, but over time, Ali Campbell would reveal long-seated dissatisfaction with the band's slide from a radical militant reggae sound to a radio-friendly pop-influenced hybrid that didn't sound like reggae at all. And more crucial, he would note financial mismanagement as another reason why he had to leave. And these claims have also been rebutted by his ex-bandmates. But what really happened? Let's take a look at the untold truth about why legendary band UB40 split up after almost 30 years in the game. To begin with, the idea of Ali Campbell leaving the group seemed crazy to anyone familiar with the band's origin story. The seeds of that group were sown in 1976 when Alistair Ian Campbell, aka Ali Campbell, went to a pub for a few drinks on his 17th birthday, and while there, a brawl broke out and he would be injured when somebody in the bar hit him in the face with a glass. And after a month in the hospital, he applied for a government grant for people who were victims of violence. And after 2 years of waiting, he was given a payout of £4,500, a fortune to a then unemployed Ali at the time in 1978. But instead of spending the money on silly stuff like clothes or girls, he decided to invest the money in medical equipment, as he and his childhood friends, Earl Falconer and Jimmy Brown, who had been reggae fans all their lives, had always dreamt of forming a band someday. So the trio began to rehearse in the basement of Earl Falconer's mother's house, and soon added Ali's big brother Robin, Ali's elementary school classmate Brian Travers, Norman Hassan, and Mickey Virtue to their unit. And they would sharpen their skills, rehearsing popular reggae hits until the end of 1978, when they played their first gig at the Hares and Hounds pub in Birmingham, and quickly made a name for themselves on the pub and nightclub circuits. And they were soon noticed by Chrissy Hind, the lead singer of legendary rock band The Pretenders, who made them opening acts on their UK tour. And this led to them being noticed and approached by producer Bob Lamb to record their debut album, Signing Off, in 1979, which became a certified hit both critically and commercially. Their next 2 albums, Present Arms and UB44, were strong successes, but their 4th album, titled Labour of Love, which was a cover of previous hits by reggae artists, became a spectacular success. Its lead single, Red Red Wine, gave the band their first #1 hit in the UK, and that album would achieve multi-platinum status, winning them massive fan bases across the globe. In terms of numbers, Labour of Love was their most powerful catalyst for success. But unlike the band's previous material that radiated earthy fundamental reggae instrumentals with conscious lyrics, Labour of Love veered into covers of love songs like Eric Donaldson's Cherry Oh Baby, the Melodian Sweet Sensation, and Tony Tribe's Red Red Wine. But before it was made, the band had no intention of doing a cover album, but they were under pressure by their record label Virgin Records to deliver on their next project before the end of the year, and by then they didn't have enough original material, so Robin Campbell drew up a list of possible songs that they could cover. They whittled them down to 10. It turned out to be a massive success, but one which had the downside of the label demanding more of the same. as that formula was good for business. This pressure led to the next releases, Jeffrey Morgan and Bagger Rhythm, exploring crossover influences that had core reggae fans confused as to what was going on. They would go back to their roots with Rat in the Kitchen from 1986, which was critically acclaimed and proved to be heavy in revolutionary conscious content, but eventually became a moderate commercial success. They would revert to what had become their winning commercial formula with a series of crossover albums like 1989's Labor of Love Volume 2 and 1993's Promises and Lies, which were smashing successes with covers of classics like Kingston Town and I Can't Help Falling in Love with You. The band would continue with this formula for the next 2 decades, selling tens of millions of records in the process. But beneath all the numbers and the fame, there was tension in the group, with Ali in particular reportedly fed up of how far the group had veered from the traditional reggae sound and the spirit of their early works. It all came crashing down in January 2008 when Ali announced his exit from the band on his website, citing him being unhappy with the group's management, and said he would be investigating the band's business affairs. The band would reply with a statement of their own on MySpace, debunking his claims, and said that Ali Campbell chose to leave to pursue his own career, and that his exit had been the combination of him consistently prioritizing his solo career over his obligations to UB40. And this would lead to a back and forth in the media over time. But whatever the case, keyboardist Mickey Virtue would leave after a while and was followed by vocalist Terence Astro Wilson, who both cited the same reasons as Ali for leaving. The remaining 7 members would hire Ali's younger brother, Duncan Campbell, as the band's replacement lead vocalist, all before the release of their 2009 album, Labor of Love Volume 4. The trio of Ali, Astro and Mickey also began to tour as UB40 reunited, effectively meaning that there were 2 UB40s, and all of this led to legal battles in court. And Ali's own group released an album titled Real Labor of Love, which Ali stated was heavily influenced by Chronixx and reggae band Raging Fire. Ali Campbell would, in a series of interviews like the one he gave for NME magazine in 2020, where he confirmed that he had been for years unhappy with the band's shift to a watered-down shell of their earlier politically charged sound. And he also revealed that he had left the band after a breakdown in the relationship with his elder brother, Robin. And the court ruling would eventually allow both sides to use the name UB40, but their personal relationships still remained broken. And I'm not going to sit here in my corner and claim Ali was right, but considering the fact that UB40 as a band went bankrupt not long after he left in 2008 and was even forced to sell its back catalogue of songs to EMI Records in 2012, I can sort of see some reasons in his continued claims that the band in general was being badly mismanaged. Mickey Virtue has since left Ali's splinter band, and Astro Wilson passed away not long ago from COVID, but Ali is still doing his thing as one half of UB40. Band breakups are one of the most common phenomenons in the music business, but I find that of UB40 to be among the most tragic, especially because at the beginning they seemed so close and tight, highly radical, brilliant and authentic in their early days. It's a shame that instigations and pressure from the music industry, personality clashes, and definitely bad choices has seen everything come down to this. It's my sincere hope that despite all the bad blood, the guys and brothers can come back together again to do what they do best and what the fans really want. It seems like a long shot, but like I always say, it doesn't cost anything to dream. So there you have it. Thank you for watching this video today. Please leave a like, subscribe, and until next time, Jah bless.